Hey there YouTube, my name's Brian Kennedy with Apollo Magic, and today I'm going to teach you a beginner sleight of hand magic trick. This isn't just one trick, this is a combination of tricks. Really, this is one of the first tricks. I took different tricks and put them together into a sequence that made a lot of sense. It is still somewhat short, but hopefully you guys like this sequence and you can add it into any of your 4-card tricks. So without further ado, let's make you a sleight of hand artist and get into this trick. Alright, let's get into what this card trick looks like. First thing you do is you're going to take the deck, you're going to throw it, and you're going to end up with all 4 kings. Now, you ask your spectator, would you like the red kings or would you like the black kings? Now, it really doesn't matter what they say, but let's just for this instance say that they pick the red kings. We're going to put these here to the side. We'll use them later. We're going to get rid of these kings. Doesn't really matter. Just put them somewhere in the deck. Then you will ask your spectator to pick a card, any card that they would like. Now, just for the explanation of this, normally the magician would not see the card, but let's just say that they pick this one here, the 9 of diamonds. Say, memorize your card and all that good stuff. Open up the deck, say, place your card right here. They place it. Of course, I always give them one last peek of the card just so they see it right before it goes in. Put all the cards back together. Now, we're going to do a little cut and a little cut. Just like that, and let's actually do also a little shuffle like that, and one more shuffle. Then we're going to take our kings. Let's go with first the diamond on top and the heart on bottom. We just go 1, 2, 3. One card is now in between our kings. Guess what card? They're selected 9 of diamonds. So the setup is this. It's very simple. You have a mixed up deck of cards. Doesn't matter the order of that, but it does matter the order of this. You're going to put the blacks with the blacks and the reds with the reds. Take 2 of them, either your red or your black, put them on top. Take the other 2, place them on the bottom of the deck. So you have 2 here and your 2 on top. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to grab the cards with the meat of your hands kind of touching the top and the bottom at the same time. That means the middle ones are kind of loose. If you wiggle the cards, you'll feel all the other cards except for the top and the bottom kind of move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it into my other hand and it'll slide. All the cards will slide out. Now I did that kind of slow so you can see I got stuck with one of the cards on bottom. But if you do it with a little bit of force, you'll only end up with 2 of the cards, and it should be a black and a red card to offset them. You then are going to put them down. You do kind of need a table for this opener. You're going to put them down on the table, and then you throw and catch with the other hand. Again, you want to make sure that you do it fast. I did it kind of slow. If you do it slow, it doesn't work as well. So make sure when you throw the cards, you're going to throw them with a bit of force. You then show the other 2 cards, and you get a red and a black. This is a really good opener. It'll work with any 4-ace card trick that you want to do. When you perform this, by the way, here's a little tidbit. Don't show the cards until you get all 4 out. You're going to throw, and then show all of the cards. It'll just look a lot better in the spectator's mind, and they won't be able to go and backtrack and figure out what you did. This will actually blow past people if they're not expecting it. Alright, so then put the reds with the reds and the blacks with the blacks and tell them to pick one of the color. Now this is totally up to you. You could put a red with a red, a black with a black. It doesn't really matter. This is just the way I do it. So let's just say for simplicity's sake, they pick the reds, we put the black cards away. They're then going to pick a card that you're not going to see. So you have them actually physically take it out of the deck. Now for this part, just to make this easier, let's use a black card to throw in here so you can follow along with what I'm doing. This method is getting a card to the bottom of the deck. So you haven't checked out my video on how to get a card to the bottom of the deck. I go into a lot more detail of it right here. But if you are pretty comfortable with that, go ahead and follow along. I'm going to go through a pretty fast explanation on how to get this card to the bottom of the deck. First, they take a look, they select the card. You take off about half the cards, you ask them to put it back in the center. When they put it back in the center, you say, I would like you guys to take one more look at it just to be sure you don't forget. You're going to push the card off with your thumb it will slide across your fingers, just that card. And then you turn it away from you so they can see the 2. You then pull it back on, and you're going to sneak your pinky in there. So the reason you're doing this is twofold. One, so they actually do remember the card and you give them a second glance at it. That is a real problem you may run into when you start doing card magic. People just forget their card. I mean, it is just a card. They might forget, it's a number. They might forget it. You're going to pull it back on, though, and do what's called a pinky break. So from all sides, all these sides of the deck, all over my the left side of my body and the front, they will not be able to see that you have a little break in between the cards. So that card's not fully connected to the deck. Your angle, you are going to see that popping up. And then you're going to place all the other cards on top of it. Again, this allows you to keep a break right below where their card is. So let me just show you. Their selected card is right on the bottom of the top packet. You're then going to transfer this to your other hand. So if you know anything about grips, you're going to transfer from dealer's grip, which is where your thumb is on the side, your first finger here, and your 3 fingers on the other side, into biddle grip. So I'm going to put the meat of my thumb onto the cards. Now it's going to then, I'm going to use my fingers on the top of the deck and watch that break. That break stays right where it is because my thumb keeps it in place. You're then going to do what's called a double undercut. Now a double undercut is where we're going to take about a third of the deck, everything, not everything below the break, but a lot of what's below that break off and place them on top. You're then going to take everything else from below that break and place that on top. Ostensibly, what you've done is put their card on the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to do that one more time and explain it at speed. So at speed, they put the card on the deck. You ask them to look at it one more time, pushing it out away from you, pulling it back, keeping that break. Put all the cards on top, maintaining that break. Grab the cards with the other hand, with your thumb, maintaining that break. Then you're going to peel off about half of the cards, place them on top of the deck, and then you're going to grab everything up to that break and place them on top of the deck. Your card is now on bottom. I then, just for thoroughness, like to give it an extra little shuffle. And this, I forget what the name of this shuffle is, but it is technically a false shuffle. You're going to do an overhand shuffle, and your fingers here are what's going to be what does the work. Your fingers and your thumb. You're going to put your thumb onto the top card. These fingers are going to remain on the bottom card. It's just like what we did with the beginning, where you throw the deck. Only the top and the bottom will stay in place or in your hands. It's very similar to that, but rather than throwing the deck, what you're going to do is you're going to take your other hand and pull off those cards. So now that bottom and that top, let me get a good angle of this, stay together like this, and then you just take your thumb and shuffle off on top of them. Again, if it feels like I'm going too fast with this, there is a video already, like I mentioned before, that you can take a look at. But you're going to use the grippiness and then shuffle. That's the only false part of the shuffle. The rest of the shuffle is real. You're just peeling the cards and they all go on top. That card remains on the bottom. The second piece you're going to do then is you take one of the kings, you place it on top. You take the other king, you put it on the bottom, offset. So there's some space, because you need your fingers to be able to touch that too. You then grab the deck like this. Obviously, don't show that to your spectator, only grab it from below. But your fingers are going to touch and keep some pressure on that too. You're then going to do what you did at the beginning and whip the deck to the side. And what is remaining is the selected card. Of course, don't forget to turn it over and show them that it's their card, because when you do this trick, your card should not be a black card. That will ruin the trick. Alright guys, hopefully that wasn't too fast and go right over your head. If you have any issues, let me know below in the comments. of any trouble that you had. Don't expect that when you first learn a magic trick that when you perform it, you'll get away with it. It does take a little bit of practice in front of actual people to get the magic trick down to where you're comfortable and you can do it every single time. But other than that, hopefully you guys like it. Again, my name's Brian Kennedy with Apollo Magic. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Unless you hate me, then I'd get out of here. I don't know what you're doing. Go watch something else. You're wasting your own time. Adios.